Hello, my honeys.
Oh, wait, sorry. I'll shut my big fat gob.
Tracy Baker, shut your big rat gob. Have
you watched it? Have you watched it?
No, it's out already. I feel like I remember seeing the 12th, but I don't know if that's just I'm thinking of something else.
Oh, well, that's something to look forward to.
Not me knowing the Tracy Baker release schedule, not this.
I would say not you not knowing if you didn't know.
Hello, my honeys. It's me, Tayris.
Hello, my darlings. It's me, Daphne.
And welcome to another episode of The Gag, because we ain't got a gig.
But at least we've got the gag. How are you, Tayris?
I felt a little bit rubbish this week, so I thought I'd dress like it.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, she's had a mare.
Well, I'm loving this little number on you. Very Joanna Lumley.
Thank you very much, darling. I don't have a bit of bully, darling. I'm not even going to try to do Joanna Lumley. Joanna Lumley had like a big series of like doing documentaries about cats. Do you remember that?
No.
Do you remember that phase for her? Well, it was a big phase and you can look it up on YouTube. It's quite a good watch. Anyway, anywho.
Guys, if you want to hear about pets, oh my god, over the Christmas period, I almost got the snake, but I didn't because, you know, I wasn't ready. We're not there yet. But her name was
I thought you were
Alice.
going to get Alice.
Alice! Well, I think I'm going to get another snake and just call her Alice. But she went before I got around to getting her. But I mean, like, a snake that stands chromatica, like, she gets it. She hissed the first brick at Stonewall.
I like the idea of, like, when you get her out of the casket, what would you carry it in? How would you transport it to
you just ship
house?
them in like boxes, like you just have boxes.
It doesn't come through the post box.
No, usually, so it'll be like signed, so you have to go there. They'll tell you what time they're coming, and you have to be there to take it, because you can't just leave your snake on the doorstep for hours. Because obviously they're like cold-blooded, so if it's like in the snow, she'll be dead by the time I came home.
I thought you meant cold-blooded in terms of like attitude. So like, I can't leave her outside for 2 hours. She would be fucking raging. Oh well, let's all take a minute for Alice. Actually, a minute's a bit long. Let's not do that. Welcome back to The Gag, the review channel for the people who like to be super, super late to things. So I can imagine only you're watching this today.
Good one. Tell another.
Yeah. Come up with something
Tracy Baker, shut your big fat gob.
Shut up, Tayris, you worm. I'm the coolest of all the Brighton drag queens.
Well, neither of us on season 3. It's not that cool, clearly, is it? Go. For the people at home last year, there was all these rumours that I was on. And it just made me pissed because I didn't even send in the tape because I couldn't get my shit together. But people kept coming up to me in the club and being like, "We're so proud of you, mama." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, lol."
And you fucking milked that. You milked the shit out of it. You'd be like, "Thank you. Thank you very much."
No, but people on Reddit were like...
The amount of times that people would come up to me and be like, "Oh, I've heard the news." And I'm like, "Oh, what?" And she's like, "Tayris is on." And I'm like... Okay, I know for a fact she didn't even fucking get through half of her tape, let alone even sending it in. And I had to film so much of your tape after we were done in the club. You filmed like 3 looks. You're like, I slaved away over hot coals, and like, I picked cotton all summer to make you a garment for the tape. I mean, we were in the club a lot longer than we needed to be. I'm still resenting that.
Well, here we are now filming the gag, so how'd that turn out? And on that note...
I miss sticky floors.
Yeah. You know, if anything, we can take those videos and consider it a documentary of our time, which segues to this.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah. You're playing my game too.
So the girls walk back into the workroom after we've just said goodbye to Joey J. Rest in peace.
Did you see?
She's not dead, is she? What did I see?
No, but... Well, her career might as well be. There was a tweet that she... which, to be honest, is kind of funny. I can say that as a trans girl.
I mean, I can't repeat the words that were said in the tweet, but I thought it was the same word over and over with fierce in it.
Is she coming for me? And then I was like, oh, wait, she said I was fierce. Okay, that's all right then.
I pictured it to Body by Megan Thee Stallion, the rhythm of that. I was like, ah... Joey has left the workroom. Filler Queen plot twist. She was. There's a quick recap of Untucked, and they talk about the iconic moment. I said what I said. Guys at home, important listening.
I said what I said.
You're being arrogant. Pause this. Go look for the DJ Mixerino version of Arrogant by Tamisha Mann. It's a Vogue track. It bobs, and then come back to this.
None of the girls that were in the bottom is gonna tell me that I am arrogant.
Did you see the picture of Candy Gottmik and Tina as Ronald McDonald Grimace and their weird duck?
It sounds like you're fucking smoking a bomb. What's happening?
I was purposely slurping my drink, so like, in Untucked.
Bar queen!
Yeah. I'm like, what a reveal.
Right, anyway.
Guys, I want to talk about that now. So basically, Daphne and I used to do this gig called Sleep Paralysis.
No, is this the time that we're telling that story?
I don't mind that.
I think it's worth actually making a Patreon just to be like, look, if you give us a certain amount of money, we're going to tell you the best story you ever heard in your life. And it would be absolutely overhyping it.
After Untucked, this drama is still continuing because Candy, even though I think she might have been in the right when she called Kamisha out, I'm so bored of carrying on this B team, A team thing. I'm like, oh, you won a one lip sync once against one person. Do you know what I mean? Like, Rue does that weird, like, Charles Nelson Riley thing, like, row, row, and everyone's like, oh, how gauche. And Rue's like, do any of you know who that is? And all like, no. I'm like, what bum licking?
I was so surprised that none of the older girls got it though. Certainly Mother Aman. I'm disappointed in her knowledge.
Who is that?
Mm.
You don't even know.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to be like, oh, how could you not know the legend icon? So this little mini challenge, I think fresh off last week's construction, they have to make little outfits out of wallpaper. What did you think of it? Do you have any strong opinions on these outfits?
I think if we're judging in terms of looks wise, I think Mick definitely looked the best.
Yeah,
I think they did Utica dirty. I think the joke wasn't terribly unfunny, but I think, again, it was the same thing when she first came onto the runway. The judges and the rest of the people in the room didn't meet her on her energy and purposely didn't stay there for her.
I think...
So the joke just completely flatlined. But I think if you put a bit of like honky tonk music over it and like a bit of like Rue's fake laughter, they put enough of it in anyway. One thing that I didn't mention before this bit, producer Olivia Lux comes in with the questions
like,
yet again.
Say how you feeling.
So how do we all feel about that massive argument that you all clearly have a lot of pent up aggression about? Care to let it out?
No, I love her.
I'm like, you bitch. You shady little bitch.
And she's getting away with it.
I'm
She's
obsessed.
got such a big smile. And she says it with like a big old sweetheart.
That
like,
smile.
how are you guys feeling? Kamisha and Elliot. Firstly, triggered by the fact that Elliot's wearing a blue lip, which you know is near and dear to my past traumas. Also, why were they talking about Carol Baskin? I didn't get it, because they were in like leopard print, and isn't she like Tiger Queen or something? And Rose was like, oh, I don't like her, yuck, yuck. And I was like, what's going on?
I feel like he watched Tiger King the night before this happened. I think as we saw his behaviour in the rest of the episode, I think he was on a few edibles today.
So Elliot and Tamisha win the mini challenge. Was there a prize?
There was a prize. They won $2,500 worth of the wallpaper.
Oh, what a treat, good.
Which, like, I feel like if you're in a rented apartment, which most of them probably are.
So we find out the main challenge is to make a Disco-Mentary about the history of disco. So they've got 6 teams, all different sections of disco. I don't really understand the challenges either. I don't know whether it was supposed to be like funny or dancey. Because it either needed to be like yuck 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 the whole way, or it needed to be more like the one from season 11 where it's like dancey with a bit of a chuckle, but it kind of like just plodded along. So I saw a lot of people had mixed reviews on the episode. I thought it was like fine.
Well, this was so confusing for me because watching it, I had an idea of what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be similar to like a Rusical, but it was about disco.
Yeah.
Because they haven't done a Rusical yet. The second it started, Tina started dancing and she wasn't lip syncing. I was just like, oh wait, she's going to be in the bottom. She doesn't know her words. And then I realised that Mick wasn't lip syncing and Candy wasn't lip syncing, and there was this written song for them. I was like, what is this challenge?
Yeah.
They have to dance. And like with a Rusical, they have to dance plus learn the lyrics and lip sync along with it. And like watching it when in the final product, I could tell so many of the queens actually wanted to lip sync along. Like I could see that their lips were like kind of like Olivia and Denali, like they were kind of a bit like
quivering.
Because I would be too. It's like, it feels very weird to not like, just to like, look like you slept with a coat hanger in your mouth.
No, I know what you mean. It feels like, it's very musical theatre, but I guess it's against your natural instinct to just dance it. But so we come to the rehearsal process.
And it's just not entertaining to watch. But yeah, anyway.
So we come to the rehearsal process, and I feel like I like this choreographer. Firstly, he was kind of high-key fit, you know. If I was there and I've already been locked out for a few days, like my estrogen's going down and my testosterone's going up, girl. And I was like, woof.
I'll give you some estrogen, babe. I'll slip you some.
So who do you think is struggling in this rehearsal?
Well, well, poor fucking Tamisha Amman, because she reveals to us that she's got an ostomy bag or a colostomy bag. She kept on saying ostomy bag, but I assume she meant colostomy bag. I don't know if they're the same thing. Different there. Why the fuck? Never mind the girls not knowing. Why the fuck do the producers add such an unnecessary prop? When do you ever think of hula hoops when you're thinking about disco and be like, who should we give this to? Who should we give this to? Yes, you. What the fuck? I think this is absolutely messed up. If they decided they wanted to have this hula hoop for absolutely no fucking reason, they could have added it to any other of their things. I don't think the hula hoop really added to the sex appeal of their act. There wasn't a whole bunch of workroom chat that really kind of spoke to me. The Mean Girls. How do we feel about this little knockoff Alaska Tox situation?
Ultimately, it's a TV show. They're not silly. They know, even though making this click, they're probably all not going to make it to the end, but statistically, probably all aren't going to make it to the end anyway. And especially when you're seeing the other girls who are getting like lip reception around the room, you're like, maybe us three aren't going to make it to the end. So if you establish something like this, not only is it good TV, but you're probably like, oh, well, that's giving us a point of interest and the reason to keep the cameras on us. You know what I mean? Drag Race is such a bonding experience. I know whenever I get on season Shablork or whatever. Did you watch iCarly? There's this episode of iCarly where she's tutoring this kid and he's so rude. So she tricks him and teaches him there's a new number called DERF between 4 and 5. So she gives him like a practice question and he'll be like, oh, so it'd be 937. She's like, yeah. And obviously he fails on his maths test. And his dad's like, what? My kid's kicking off. He's saying, you taught me a number called a DERF? And she's like, and Carly's like, her name's just Carly. First name's not I. But Carly's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. And the dad's like, see, I told you a lie. He's like, no, she told me about a DERF. So big DERF energy. Why are we talking about DERF? Something about...
okay, let's correct that to why are you talking about DERF?
People are popping up, like the Peter Pettigrew conspiracy theory that I shared. You know, so... Harry...
Where are they popping off?
Last week. Do you ever play that child's game? Don't tell mum, or don't wake dad, or don't tell the bride, or... Jack! Did you ever... What was that board game called? What was the board... Are you in the bar? Don't worry. We'll come back to it. You can go.
Are we done? Tamisha talks about someone that helped her.
Who?
An old lady that taught her how to chew, even though there was no baseball team.
What is Rue wearing this week? I don't know.
She's wearing like a purple pinky. She looks like RuPaul. I really don't know how I can explain this.
Coming on to Disco-Mentary, it begins. Do you know what? I think it was a fine watch. I wasn't like, oh my god. Like, but I think, you know, I think maybe it needed to hit harder on either the comedy or the choreography. But do you know what? I think even though I kind of end up agreeing with their judging, I thought for the most part everyone was quite strong. There was nobody, it's not like in Canada's Drag Race, like, not sorry, a boot it, and then like nobody knew the choreography. I feel like everyone at least kind of knew what they were doing.
There was no Anastasia.
Sit back and I beat my meat.
So, to be honest, I beat my meat. Was that actually one of my lyrics?
It's pack your cheap drag up real neat while I sit back and I'll beat my meat. And the judges are like, oh.
What, wank off? Is that what she means?
Yeah.
So at the beginning of this, I was kind of just like distracted about the fact that they weren't lip syncing and I thought it was like a lip sync extravaganza. But also, I was distracted. Doesn't Tina look fucking gorgeous without red or yellow hair? Wasn't her in this long wig? I don't know if it was hers. I kind of feel like maybe she borrowed it.
Yeah.
But this just looked gorgeous on her. I was and I was into the dress too. Like, it's very like, we've all seen that dress at like Brighton's Birdcage. Cool. Like, it's very like drag queen. But I was just so into it. Candy looked low-key kind of basic. Michelle brought it up. I did kind of appreciate her attitude throughout though. I don't think she did awful.
We'll come back to the runway presentation, but I didn't have the same problem they had with the basicness perhaps of her outfit.
Gottmik looked fine. He was alright. I think they did an alright job doing something that I don't know what they were required to do. I don't know how we're meant to judge this. They all just look like drag queens on stage. Like, there was no, like, unless you're a dance instructor, like, there was no... I'm gonna be like, oh, they 12, like...
Yeah, teen.
Next after that is disco and love and sex and something along those lines. We have Miss Tamisha Rahman wearing my favourite outfit out of all of these.
I didn't mind it. The hair reminded me of Dumba when Vixen is in the Cher show, and she's got that weird look, and she's like, they look like square triangular rhombus. Disco lady dance all night. I think if Tamisha had been another pair, she probably wouldn't even have looked as bad. But I think against someone who's probably...
I think if she was in the free pair,
yeah,
she would have two other people that could work with her and like make sure that she is like all right keeping up with them. But yeah, I think Elliot was very and like I don't blame her for this. Elliot was very determined to show what she could do.
Absolutely.
And so I don't think she ever really thought twice about how Tamisha is keeping up with her.
And I get
maybe that wasn't the silly thing to do, but to like get your life girl, like I think she was actually quite good considering what this challenge was, which I don't understand what it was. Next we have Studio 54 with Miss Olivia Lux and Utica.
This one I was kind of like, oh work. Again, I didn't really get it. But Olivia, the hair was camp, definitely bouncing. I kind of agree with what they said with Utica later on. The styling of the outfit was quite peculiar. And I didn't have an issue with the way she'd camp things up when they said it in the ball, but now I am kind of agreeing. Like, I do think sometimes it does clash a little bit what she's actually supposed to be doing. I mean, because this is Disco, you want it to be fun, you want it to be energetic, but like, it kind of just didn't really, her energy that the way she's portraying it didn't really match.
Next up we have Disco Fashion.
I'd want the hardest choreo if I was there. Like, even if I like don't perfectly match it, I'd want to know like I had a really difficult job. Because I think if you've got the boring choreo and you're flopping, and I'd be like, what is wrong? But this, like, it was very technical, like the fan kicks and like the rondéjean and like the pas de bourrées and stuff. Like, even just hearing words like that put me at a piece a bit. I was like, oh god, to be a dancer still.
I don't know, I was just quite underwhelmed considering it was fashion. But then again, I was like reading too much into like so is it individual challenges and they're going to judge them on how well they adapted to their subject of this? I was just so confused. We have the final one, which is Disco Sucks. And to be honest, after this challenge, I'm kind of seeing stories coming out.
I mean, I thought it was interesting hearing Ru talk about like the Disco Sucks movement and stuff, because again, that's something I had no idea about. And I guess my favourite parts of the show are where we're educated.
I didn't know about the Disco Sucks movement, and I was really interested in hearing about it. And I go figure that maybe the song Burn Baby Burn, Disco Inferno, was that inspired by that movement?
I mean, I think
Food for thought. I don't know. Or I could just look it up. I probably won't.
Guys, I promise, we are still in love with the gag, just not in love with this episode.
But now we are moving on to the runway. Runway. So first up on the runway, we have Miss Tinta Burnter in a wetsuit, wetsuit. Wasn't the challenge. Revealing to H&M dress.
I hate it. This is probably my least favourite of the runway. I mean, like, pros and cons. Kind of like the concept, the wet paint thing. It's an interesting way to work in your little everything must be red, yellow and orange combo. This wig, mama, Zena Zerner, Zoe.
I know she has nicer red wigs than this.
But I mean, I guess
she was wearing one in the workroom when Miss Producer Olivia Lux was literally being like, Utica, you should say this really shady thing about her. She was wearing this big fuck off red hair, which, like, to be honest, at the time I thought was garish because it's red, but like much would have preferred this.
This is my new ranking system from now on. If I like it, it's a slay risk. If it's middle of the road, it's okay risk. But this was a nay risk. Thumbs up.
Alright, okay. I'm just gonna say shy, not shy. Next up we have Miss Candy Muse.
I think, okay, you gotta think, if she'd done it in, like, let's say, white vinyl and had the same dress cut out in black vinyl, it would just look so much more dynamic and striking, but the fabric just...
Well, that was the difference between this and Aja's.
Yeah.
Aja wore felt, which is just a complete solid thing, whereas this was creasing all over the place. This was showing where it was baggy. Like, obviously it's not meant to be a super flattering look, but like this could have looked way more flattering than it actually was.
Yeah, I had the same problem with the hair. I didn't mind the black splodge that the judges commented on. I felt like it would have been nice if she used like grease paint or something so it still looked like wet as opposed to like matte. It just looked really dry, whereas I felt like it still looked crusty as opposed to like wet and like slick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't take massive issue with the hair. I took massive issue with the fucking boots. Like, she was just wearing just like little ankle boots that you go on your country walk on. Next up was Gottmik. I cannot explain to you the amount of air that I sucked out of the room when she turned around. The gasp.
It was
oh
gorgeous.
my god, this was fucking punk.
It was so lit, and I think, you know, they have such a petite frame that they can get away with something like this. Most of Eureka did the same thing. Like, even the makeup, like, so graphic, so, like, detailed, and the whole body was covered in that nice sort of, like, she got that Fenty body lava, I spot it. Yeah, I think just such a, like, intelligent way to do it, and I think, you know, just, I think it was a really, not only a bold statement, but a really striking and conceptual look. I think really worked in this one way.
Powerful, liberating. I loved it. Absolutely incredible. Also, I'm really into her makeup as well because at first I thought she was always going to do this like white face thing. She seemed to have like gone off that for a few episodes. Next up, we have Elliot with 2 T's, and the T stands for TK Maxx.
The coat was really gorgeous, actually. I love the coat. I mean, it wasn't unpolished. It wasn't like ill-fitting. It's just very like very plain. Like, I don't want to say pedestrian because I feel like that. I mean, a pedestrian's not wearing this coat and like out and about. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it just.
No, but I will say pedestrians wear black tights with things. Sensible black tights. Pedestrians have fairly flat hair. Pedestrians grab their coat, their fabulous coat, which was the best part of the outfit, and not like try and like drape it over the shoulder, present it in some kind of nice way. Grab it and plonk along the runway with it.
Yeah, I just think there were so many ways, even if the dress was stoned, that just, I say that in a bin bag, but it just could have been heightened, you know what I mean?
I mean, I've got the nerve to say she looks cheap and basic. I'm wearing a £6 fucking dress on Boohoo. Next up we have Miss Tamisha Aman, and she wasn't really coming for me with this.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the judges hit the nail on the head. I just feel like the pleating was all in the wrong place, and now it makes a lot more sense. She doesn't really corset, and I just thought, you know, she pads, and a lot of girls this season aren't really corseting, like these are Denali, but now understand that she has the ostomy bag, the way she's constructing silhouettes now, it makes a lot more sense. It's
a shame that this is what she goes out in.
Yeah.
Like, oh, spoiler alert ahead. I think, like, neck up, she looks gorgeous. Again, it's this matronly kind of vibe. It's the same thing. It's the same matronly thing again. She looks like she's like chaperoning for the pop punk school disco this time around. So next up is Miss Olivia Lux.
It's the gold detailing with the zips that is carried through to like the gold accents in the makeup with the little gold flecks of like glitter in her hair. I feel like in a category where a lot of people kind of missed the mark, and I think it's such a simple, clean take on it that it ended up being like not a standout, but just dynamic and looking really polished. And I mean, as much as it's a little black dress category, we all know the selling point for Olivia Lux every week is her hair, and this hair is gorgeous. And
her fucking smile, bitch. That fucking smile won me over. Did you not kind of think that this dress kind of reminded you of in Mean Girls when she throws the house party and she's got this little pink satin,
is this Regina?
tight skin? Wait. No, Katie, when she first throws her first house party.
Oh, I think on the Halloween one where she's like in girl world.
So next up we have Miss Utica.
Actually, do you know what? Okay, let's redact my statement from earlier. This is my least favourite look on the runway.
What?
I hate it. I hate it.
Right, okay, on it, I cannot do the show with you any longer.
Neck down, love. So clean, so simple, bada bam, bada bam. I do not like this wig. I didn't like it last week. I don't like it. And the makeup would have been cool if it wasn't for the lips. I just thought they were so ugly. And you know what? If we're talking about an all glitter look, guys, there's this excellent queen in London called Her the Queen, and they did an all glitter look before, all gold glitter, and now, I mean, the way it was executed was so perfect. And looking at this, I'm like, I think this is quite ugly. Like,
I don't need it to be on the nose. Explain to me. When it came out, I said, I don't know what the fuck this is. I love it. And then she explained it. You see the hat, you see the little, oh, so good. Like, this is my favorite makeup she's had so far. This has been the most, like, if she goes for wacky every single time, this is the kind of wacky I want her to go for.
No, Mum.
Fucking hamming it out. This cartoon-esque. I was obsessed with this. When the judges were like, simplify it for us, make it easier for us. Like, she does not need to take on board anything that fabulous Miss Lonely Love, who I still love, but I'm not here for this bit of advice. She needs to not listen to a single thing that she suggested.
Would it not be nicer with a simple Joe Black finger wave as opposed to this weird, like...
But that's not what the hair was on the earring.
But
Did you see the
also,
earring?
the judges aren't going to run up and be like, oh, that earring's got different
No, but it's
hair.
not for the judges. The judges happen to be there witnessing it, but she's not doing this for the judges.
Comment down below. I want to know the general consensus. Is this look munch, munch, crunch, crunch?
I thought the general consensus, at least from what I've seen, has been very positive. Not for this next look, however. Mr. Gnarly.
Okay, I think this is one of the more successful looks on the runway.
God, what episode are you watching? Not after Miss Widow Von Du from last year. This
but-
doesn't touch
okay,
it for me, and
but-
it's too soon since I've seen that. And
Perhaps,
this is too basic of a concept. Like, the actual dress itself is very Halloween out of the bag. Then you add on like a spider cape. Like, this
I
was
think
not
though,
it.
considering how many people didn't hit the mark on this, I don't mind that it's a simple black dress. And versus, like, in the same way, I get what you're saying about the Widow Von Du thing, but my counter to that is she did it for the finale where she's already got Drag Race money and she's having to bring this sort of garment pre Drag Race. And I guess maybe that's the same way I feel about Utica's. After seeing her, the queen, off the show, do something I consider to be a similar concept but much better executed in my mind from a styling perspective.
Widow did 2 Black Widow looks, and she did one on the runway, and this is still a lot better than
when?
that. The bride one.
Oh, what with the little like face veil? Oh,
Yeah,
just kind of.
and she had the eyes, and it was all of it was just a lot more visually stunning than this. To be honest, I do prefer this look to the next look, Miss Rosé. How much tulle did she bring? How much tulle are we going to be seeing? I just want to know. I just want to know a rough estimate number.
So I wish the tulle maybe followed the patterning more of the dress. So it came in, so it was like big tulle on the shoulders, really small like tight organza work around the waist, and a big tulle again the hips to really emphasise that silhouette. I guess I wouldn't say it was super flattering, but again, like there's been worse on this runway.
Really? You couldn't think of anything else? Little black dress? Like, it's very much a staple in like I don't know, like very much a staple in the thing.
Little black dress is so simple that I think a lot of people were reaching, Mum, at a high shelf they were reaching.
Okay, one person I do not think fought out of the box in any which way was Miss Lala Ree with her lovely black top.
It was fine. Like, nothing, it was kind of not great, but again...
Wait, what was fine? What was it, the dress that was fine, or was it her entire vagina that you saw that was fine?
But she worked hard for it, I'm not mad about it. It wasn't awful, like, the dress was too short, but I mean, the styling could have been, like, gaggier, but I also just think that, because there were so many I felt I really liked Tina and like Utica that I strongly disliked, I was like...
This for you was not one of the worst?
It would be in my lower half, like...
I was shocked that she was not in the bottom.
But
like,
I think she turned it in the
did
challenge.
a fine job in the... No, well, I mean, she did a fine job for what was meant to happen, I guess, in the challenge. But again, I don't really know how we're judging that. But this, for me, like, this is my worst. 100%. And the fact that you can consider Utica to be worse than this.
And then lastly is Simone, who, is just stunning again. Like the hair, the sculptural hair, and Rue's probably feeling really slick that she's referencing her. Even the simple like braiding hair dress. And you know what? We've seen so many dresses made of hair that are always a bit like Rue, but I think because it's braided hair, it's got a nice texture, it's got a nice structure. It's not just this weird limp like Giorgio Primani extension. I thought it was so clean. I've
always said I've never seen a hair look that I like. Never. Yeah. I'm eating my words. I didn't even realise this was braids until like after she mentioned it. Her skin.
Glossy.
Her fucking skin, her legs, her fucking clavicles, her every inch. Ah!
Is Simone your best look of the week?
100%.
I think
How can it not?
mine, depending on how I'm feeling in the moment, is either Simone or Gottmik. I just think those are the clear two standouts of the week. Worst look of the week for me is Tina Burner.
Worst look for me is Lala Ria. I don't know how you can sit there and like, I mean, Tina's was real bad, but like, at least there was a concept there.
I think, yeah, perhaps. I just think Lala's was boring and inoffensive, whereas Tina's is opposite.
What do you think about this conspiracy theory that's going around where they did change this lip sync song last minute? Because as much as I've been waiting for a Blue Cantrell fucking lip sync song for the longest time, I was gagged. I was so here for it. But I was like, wait, why did we just sit for a whole episode about disco and you're not doing a disco lip sync, which you know Miss Tamisha Amman would ring circles around.
I mean, kind of.
There's now this conspiracy theory that they changed it for Candy Muse a la Jinx Monsoon season 5.
I disagree, personally. I don't think that... This is not the first time we've not seen the challenge match lip sync. There's times where they literally have an artist like Nicole Scherzinger there, but they do Got to Be Real by Cheryl Lynn. So, or like you have an artist there and you're not using their work. To be honest, I don't...
Well, I mean, you can afford them for the day, but you can't afford their song. I can kind of understand.
I feel like if you had them for the day, probably surely the song comes as a package deal. You know what I mean? But I also kind of think, you know what? I maybe disagree. This like thing that people are saying Candy would be walked over in a disco song. I don't particularly think so, because I think also what people are seeing is they're looking at Tamisha's videos from when she was younger and unfortunately a lot more physically able and be like, oh yeah, she would have turned this out. If it was something like, I don't fucking know, Disco Inferno, which needs to be a lip sync, the Glee cover needs to be a lip sync song, woof. But I also think that Candy is like more, if you look at Candy's work off the show, she's a high energy performer first and foremost, like she kicks and stuff like that. So I guess, to me, I kind of like the song change because I don't really like watching lip syncs, as we established from like Denali versus Kimura, where somebody's completely dog walked. And I feel like this song I think really plays to both of their skill sets. So I was like, I like seeing a lip sync where you're like, oh come on, hit play, this could go either way, let's see what happens, you know. So
the lip sync starts, Candy Muse, she don't know the words, babe. She don't know the words.
I disagree, everyone keeps saying this. I think she's got...
How can you... It's black and white, babe. It's black and white.
I'm actually mixed race.
She did not know the motherfucking words.
I think she did. I think she's got a mega lisp, so her mouth is like odd. But I think people are saying this. I think
so. She needs to overcompensate for that, because for me, I was getting that she did not know the words, and I think quite a lot of other people. Again, sound off.
I personally, you know what,
leave a little comment. Just let us know.
I kind of feel like it's because people don't like Candy. Watching it, I was like, I don't think she doesn't know the words. I think
no. I came in with completely unbiased.
I think
like,
it's a Cam Fam
she did not know the words.
I want Candy gone. I think, and also, even if I don't know. I don't think she had an issue with the words. And if I'm basing it just on what I watched, I think it was close, but I think there was more of a build in Candy's.
Second half, Candy absolutely wins that, and I will say that as a proud member of the Tam fam, because that's what she would want me to do. She would want me to be humble on behalf of her. But in this first half, you cannot deny that she did not know the lyrics. There's no denying it. Yes, she built up the emotion. I think she brought it. I enjoyed what she did towards the end. I think Tamisha really brought it throughout, and it kind of fizzled. But I think she did a good job. But for me, Candy did win this, but you cannot deny that she did not know the words. Anyway, we have to say goodbye to Miss Tamisha Amman. She'll no longer be coming for me.
Hey.
I'll be coming for her.
Maybe All Star 7, she'll be coming back.
I'm devastated. It took me a lot of convincing to actually just get up out of bed today to do this.
It's like a drama queen.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I think her humility, I can't even talk. I think her humility, her kind spirit as she was leaving, I think we all felt an energy leave when she leaves. I think I'm gonna watch it, obviously, because we're still doing this. But this, I don't know if this is gonna be the same show, babe.
She was a bit reserved in the challenge, and I understand the physical limitations. I do appreciate that.
I think she's gonna be fine. I've never
Let's see.
once seen a Drag Race queen release a piece of merch that has had the amount of hype over it as much as her fucking sneakers. I think she's gonna make enough just on the sneakers alone to move to Hollywood and live it up.
And thus concludes another episode of The Gag. Ooh. You know, hopefully next week we'll have more positive things to say, won't we, girl?
Well, I mean, it's Bossy Rossi, so let's not hold on. The hilarious Ross Matthews.
I have been Tayris Mongardi, your Bomber Clark Barbie.
I have been Daphne, always will be, unfortunately, sauce.
Bone up the teeth. We'll see you in another live. Bye, buddies.